Welcome back to the Expensive Coins History channel, collectors and coin enthusiasts. In today's video, we're going to explore one of the most common yet often misunderstood coins in modern U.S. numismatics, the 1993 Lincoln 1-cent penny without a mint mark. At first glance, this coin might not look like anything special. But as we'll uncover in this video, there are a few hidden details that might just make the difference between a regular penny and one that could be worth real money in today's market. We'll break down the coin's history, minting details, rarity, collector interest, and how much it's worth in 2025. Let's start with the basics. The 1993 Lincoln penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. On the front, or obverse, we have the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner, a design that dates all the way back to 1909. On the reverse side, we see the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959. The coin itself is composed of a zinc core with a thin copper coating. This composition was adopted in the early 1980s to reduce production costs, replacing the original solid bronze used in earlier decades. Now, if you look at the date on the obverse of the coin, you'll notice something interesting. There's no mint mark under the year. That means this coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1993, Philadelphia did not use a mint mark on 1-cent coins, which is why this penny simply shows the year, 1993, without any letter below it. Now, when we talk about the value of any coin, we have to consider how many were made. In 1993, the Philadelphia Mint struck billions of these pennies, literally billions. That makes this a very common coin in terms of availability. So from a pure rarity standpoint, the 1993 no mint mark Lincoln cent is not rare. You could likely find one in your pocket change today if you checked enough pennies. However, as any experienced collector knows, rarity isn't the only thing that determines value. Condition, demand, and the presence of any unique features or mint errors can all dramatically influence how much a coin is worth. One of the biggest factors affecting the value of the 1993 Lincoln penny is its condition. Most of these coins have been circulating for over 30 years, which means they've seen a lot of wear and tear. A circulated penny from 1993, one that's been used in everyday transactions, is generally worth only face value, but if you happen to have a mint state example, meaning the coin has never been in circulation and shows no signs of wear, then things get more interesting. In uncirculated condition, especially at higher mint state grades like MS65 or above, these coins can be worth more to collectors. A bright red example, meaning the coin still has its original copper luster and has not turned brown over time, is more desirable and can bring a premium. Coins that have been professionally graded by companies like PCGS or NGC and receive top grades may even sell for significant amounts, depending on the market. So what about rare varieties or errors? Are there any 1993 Lincoln cents that are worth serious money? While 1993 is not widely known for dramatic die varieties, error coins do exist. These include things like off-center strikes, double die obverse or reverses, broad strikes, die cracks, or cut strikes on foreign or wrong planchets. These types of mint errors can turn an ordinary penny into a collector's item, with values ranging from a few dollars to potentially hundreds, depending on the severity and rarity of the error. If you think you found a 1993 penny with an error, it's worth getting a second opinion from a professional or experienced collector. Some errors are minor and common, while others are genuinely rare and valuable. Now let's talk about the market. What is a 1993 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth in 2025? Here's a quick breakdown. Circulated condition, most are only worth 1 cent. These are the coins you find in jars, drawers, and loose change. Uncirculated condition, MS60, MS63. These may be worth anywhere from 10 to 30 cents. Gem mint state, MS65, MS67. These coins, particularly with full red luster, can be worth several dollars. Top-tier grades, MS68 or higher. These are much rarer. If professionally graded and preserved, such a coin could sell for hundreds, or even more at auction under the right conditions. Major error coins, depending on the error, these can range from a few bucks to well over $100. It's important to note that the vast majority of 1993 pennies are not worth much more than their face value, even today. But the exceptions, the coins in superb condition or with dramatic errors, are where the real value lies. So, what should you be looking for if you're going through your own coin collection or pocket change? Color. Red uncirculated coins are more desirable than brown or red-brown examples. Condition. No scratches, dents, or wear. Sharp details on Lincoln's face, hair, and jacket. Errors. Look closely for doubling, off-center strikes, or anything that appears unusual. Luster and eye appeal. Even among uncirculated coins, those with better shine and color attract higher prices. Certification. If you believe you have a top-grade example, consider getting it graded. It can significantly increase its value and appeal to serious buyers. So, is the 1993 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth a lot of money? For most coins, no. It's one of the more common modern pennies and won't make you rich overnight, but in the right condition, or with the right error, this little coin can surprise you. In high mint state grades or as a rare variety, it becomes a collectible piece that's sought after by Lincoln cent enthusiasts. As with all coins, knowledge is key. Understanding what makes a coin valuable, and what doesn't, will help you make smarter decisions, whether you're collecting, selling, or simply enjoying the hobby. 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. You might be asking yourself, if it has no mint mark, does that mean it's rare? Is it an error? And could it be worth a lot of money? In this video, we'll break down everything you need to know: the coin's history, what makes certain versions rare, and how much your 1994 no mint mark Lincoln cent could actually be worth in today's market. The Lincoln cent has been in production since 1909, originally released to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years, the design has evolved, but from 1959 until 2008, the reverse featured the Lincoln Memorial, making it a defining image for an entire generation. Now, let's talk specifically about the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny. This coin was minted in Philadelphia, and in 1994, the Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark on Lincoln cents. So when you see a 1994 penny with no letter under the date, it's not necessarily an error. It's simply a standard Philadelphia-issued coin. In terms of composition, by 1994, the U.S. Mint had long since shifted away from the earlier bronze alloy. Modern Lincoln cents, including those minted in 1994, are made from a core of zinc coated with a thin layer of copper. This change happened in the early 1980s to reduce production costs. The result is a lighter coin, weighing 2.5 grams, that still carries the classic image of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. So what makes the 1994 no mint mark penny worth more than face value? There are a few key factors that influence value: condition, color, and rarity. First, let's talk about condition. Most pennies from 1994 have been circulating for decades. They're scratched, worn, and dull. These are generally worth only 1 cent. However, if you have a coin that was never used, something that looks like it just came out of the mint, it could be worth significantly more. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition are graded on a scale from MS60 up to MS70, with MS70 being a perfect coin. If your penny is graded MS65 or higher, you could be looking at a coin worth anywhere from a few dollars to several hundred, depending on the specifics. Next up is color. Collectors prize coins that retain their original coppery red color, known as red in grading terms. As pennies age, they often turn brown or reddish-brown. The redder and brighter the coin, the more it tends to be worth. So a 1994 no mint mark penny graded MS67 with full red coloration could be highly desirable to collectors. In top condition, such coins have been known to fetch hundreds of dollars at auction. Now, let's talk about rarity and errors. While most 1994 no mint mark pennies are common, some error varieties are much harder to find, and can be worth serious money. Examples of valuable errors include double die errors, where the design appears doubled, especially in the lettering or date. Off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing due to misalignment during minting. Close AM reverse varieties, where the letters A and M in America are unusually close together. This variety is more common in certain years, but it's always worth checking. If you suspect your penny has one of these errors, it's a good idea to have it looked at by a professional coin grading service. A professional coin grading company can not only confirm the coin's authenticity but also assign it an official grade. This can dramatically increase its resale value, especially if your coin falls into the highest condition categories. Now, let's look at the current market value in 2025.in average circulated condition. The 1994 no mint mark penny is still only worth 1 cent. However, coins in uncirculated condition can bring in anywhere from $5 to $30, depending on grade and color. Coins graded MS66 can sell for around $50 to $100. At MS67, values rise to the range of $100 to $300, and in extremely rare cases, such as a flawless MS68 with full red color, your 1994 no mint mark penny could be worth upwards of $500 or more. These are rare and usually found only in sealed bank rolls or original mint sets that were carefully preserved. Even rarer are coins graded MS69. While this is exceedingly uncommon for a modern penny, if one exists, it could potentially command thousands from a high-end collector. So, how can you tell if you've got something valuable? Here are a few things to look for: sharp detail with no signs of wear, bright, original red color, no scratches, dents, or spotting, no mint mark under the date, unusual features like doubling or spacing errors. If your penny checks all these boxes, it may be worth getting it professionally graded. The 1994 no mint mark Lincoln cent was minted in massive quantities, so most are extremely common. However, coins in high grades, especially with full red color, can be worth significantly more. Error coins and rare die varieties may fetch premium prices. In 2025, most examples are still worth face value, but top-tier pieces can reach well into the hundreds, and occasionally into the thousands, depending on grade and rarity. The 1995 no mint mark Lincoln 1 cent penny. Despite being produced in massive quantities, this particular coin has a few surprises that might just make it worth far more than face value. So, whether you're just starting out in the world of coin collecting or you're a seasoned numismatist, this is one episode you won't want to miss. The 1995 Lincoln penny belongs to the long-running Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which ran from 1959 until 2008. It features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, originally designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. On the reverse is the Lincoln Memorial, a design that served as a symbol of national pride and unity for nearly 50 years. Now, what makes the 1995 version notable is that it was minted in extraordinarily high numbers. More than 6 billion were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally does not use a mint mark on pennies. That means if you see a 1995 penny with no letter under the date, it was produced in Philadelphia. This coin was struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet, which had become standard since 1982. It weighs approximately 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. By all accounts, this was a common coin, meant for mass circulation. But even coins produced in high numbers can become valuable under the right circumstances. So, why is the 1995 no mint mark penny turning heads among collectors today? There are a few reasons. First, condition. Coins in mint state, meaning they show no signs of wear, are always more desirable to collectors. A flawless 1995 penny with strong strike, bright red color, and sharp details can be worth several dollars, and sometimes much more. Second, rarity within condition. While the coin itself is common, finding one that has been perfectly preserved since 1995 is much less common. The higher the grade, the fewer examples exist. Coins graded MS67, MS68, or higher become increasingly rare and significantly more valuable. Third, errors and varieties. This is where things get interesting. Some 1995 pennies were struck with a noticeable double die on the obverse, particularly visible in the inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." These double die varieties can fetch much higher prices than standard strikes, depending on their grade and clarity. Let's talk numbers. In circulated condition, the 1995 no mint mark penny typically holds only its face value, 1 cent. It's a coin you'll still find in pocket change or coin jars across the country. However, when we move into uncirculated territory, the story changes. A well-preserved uncirculated 1995 penny can sell for anywhere between $2 and $15, depending on its grade. Higher grade specimens, particularly those graded MS67 or MS68 by professional grading services, can command prices from $50 up to several hundred. Now, if you happen to own a double die variety in mint condition, that coin could be worth several $100s or even more. In extremely high grades, these can break into the four-figure range. As of 2025, demand for well-graded error coins remains strong among collectors and investors alike. It's important to note that color designations also affect value. Red pennies, which retain their original copper luster, are worth more than those that have toned to a red-brown or full-brown finish. Collectors often pay a premium for bright, red-toned examples with no spots or stains. If you think you have a 1995 penny that could be worth more than 1 cent, here are a few steps you can take to assess its potential value. Check the condition. Look for a coin with no wear, scratches, or dings. The higher the grade, the better. Look for doubling. Use a magnifier or microscope to inspect the inscriptions. On double die varieties, the letters may appear shadowed or doubled, especially in the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Examine the color. Red coins are preferred. If your coin still has that shiny copper glow, it may be worth grading. Weigh it. A standard 1995 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. Significant deviations could indicate a planchet error. Though rare, consider professional grading. If you believe your coin is a high-grade uncirculated piece or has a noticeable error, sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC could be a smart move. A certified grade can significantly boost a coin's market value. The 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny may not seem like much at first glance, but as you've seen, condition, variety, and collector demand can turn this everyday coin into a valuable collectible. If you're a casual collector, keep an eye on your pocket change. You never know what treasures you might find. And if you're more serious about numismatics, consider looking for high-grade or error varieties of this penny to add to your collection. Always store your coins properly in holders that protect them from air, moisture, and handling. And remember, never clean your coins. Doing so can destroy their value. 1997 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin, also known as the Abraham Lincoln penny, minted in Denver. We'll be covering its history, rarity, collector interest, and current market value in 2025. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's see if your 1997 D penny could be worth more than just 1 cent. The Lincoln cent has been a staple of American coinage since 1909, when it was first introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1997, the coin had already gone through several transformations. The 1997 penny features the Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse, which had been in use since 1959. This design was created to honor both Lincoln's legacy and the monument that bears his name in Washington, D.C. On the front, you'll find the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, a design by Victor David Brenner. Below the year, you'll see the D mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. In terms of metal composition, the 1997 D penny was made from copper-plated zinc, a composition introduced in the early 1980s. These pennies weigh approximately 2.5 grams and have a diameter of 19 millimeters. Now, let's talk about how many of these coins were made. In 1997, the Denver Mint struck over 4.5 billion Lincoln cents. That's right, billion, with a B. Because of this massive mintage, the 1997 D penny is not considered rare in the traditional sense. Billions were produced, and a very large number are still in circulation or tucked away in jars, drawers, and coin collections across the country. This means that if you find one of these in your pocket change, it's most likely worth face value, just 1 cent, unless it meets some very specific criteria we'll discuss next. As with any coin, the condition is what truly matters when determining value. Collectors are always seeking coins in the best possible state, uncirculated or mint state. A 1997 D penny in circulated condition, meaning it shows signs of wear from use, is typically worth only 1 cent. But coins in uncirculated condition can start to command a premium. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with grades in the mid-60s and higher considered excellent. A 1997 D penny in MS65, mint state 65, or above may be worth a few dollars to the right collector. In MS67 or MS68, the value can jump significantly, sometimes reaching into the hundreds of dollars, depending on demand and rarity in that grade. Color also matters. Pennies are often categorized as red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN. Red coins, which still have their original copper shine, are typically worth more than those that have darkened over time, while standard 1997D pennies are common. Certain error coins or unusual varieties can be quite valuable. Examples of errors to look for include double die errors, where parts of the design are doubled due to a misalignment in the minting process. Off-center strikes, where the image is not centered correctly on the coin. Die cracks, which appear as raised lines on the coins. Surface, missing letters or numbers, often due to grease or debris during the striking process. Some of these error coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars if confirmed and authenticated by a reputable grading company. One particularly sought-after error variety involves doubling on Lincoln's ear, known among collectors as a doubled ear penny. If you spot unusual doubling in that area, it could be worth getting it checked out. Let's take a look at how the 1997D Lincoln cent is performing in the coin market in 2025. In general, a circulated 1997D penny is worth about 1 cent. An uncirculated example in MS60, MS64 might sell for between 10 and 50 cents. In MS65, MS66, values range from $1 to $10, depending on demand. High-grade examples in MS67 or MS68 with a full red finish can sell for $100 to $500, sometimes more if sold through auction houses or high-profile dealers. Confirmed error coins or rare varieties can be worth hundreds to thousands, depending on their type and rarity. Remember, these values assume the coin has been properly graded and authenticated, especially when it comes to high-end or error coins. If you have a 1997D penny and want to assess its value, inspect the condition. The less wear, the better. Look for mint luster. Uncirculated coins have a shiny, original appearance. Check for errors. Use a magnifying glass to search for doubling, cracks, or oddities. Compare with known examples. Look at images of graded coins for comparison. Consider professional grading. For coins you suspect might be rare or high grade, a grading service can validate and possibly increase its value. If you're buying or selling, always work with reputable dealers and auction platforms. Presentation, photography, and authentication can make a big difference in the final price. To wrap things up, the 1997D Lincoln penny is a very common coin in circulated condition. Most are worth 1 cent, and many are still in everyday use. However, high-grade examples, uncirculated coins, and especially error varieties can bring in significant premiums in the right market. So, before you toss that penny into the coin jar or vending machine, take a second look. It might not make you a millionaire, but it could be a hidden gem worth a surprising amount. If you've got a 1997D penny in your collection, tell us about it in the comments below. Have you found any interesting varieties or unusual features? We'd love to hear your stories. 1998 No Mint Mark Lincoln 1 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that might just be worth more than you think, depending on a few very specific details. Stick around as we break down this coin's history, design, minting details, varieties, possible errors, and most importantly, its current market value in 2025. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The 1998 Lincoln penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse Series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial is prominently featured, with sharp details and clean architecture, designed by Frank Gasparo. Look closely and you'll even see a tiny figure of Lincoln seated in the memorial, just like in the real monument. The 1998 penny with no mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally doesn't use a mint mark on its coins. This penny is made from a copper-plated zinc composition, which has been the standard since 1982. It weighs about 2.5 grams and has a smooth, plain edge. Now, here's the big picture. In 1998, the Philadelphia Mint produced billions of these pennies. That means, in most cases, the 1998 No Mint Mark Lincoln cent is extremely common. You'll find it in pocket change, in old jars of coins, and in bank rolls. And because of its massive production volume, most of these coins, especially those in circulated condition, are still only worth 1 cent. But here's where things get interesting. Despite being a common coin overall, not all 1998 pennies are created equal. Some rare varieties and errors make certain examples much more valuable to collectors. One of the most well-known is the wide AM reverse variety, normally. The letters A and M in America are spaced very closely together on business strike pennies. But a small number of 1,998 coins were mistakenly struck using a reverse die intended for proof coins, creating a wider space between the A and M. This simple difference, just a tiny gap in the lettering, can turn a common penny into a collector's prize. In addition to the wide AM variety, there are also occasional error coins from 1998, including off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, die cracks, or cuds. Coins with dramatic and clearly visible errors can command significant premiums, especially if they are in uncirculated or mint state condition. When it comes to modern coins like the 1998 Lincoln cent, condition is everything. Circulated examples, the kind you'd find in pocket change, generally aren't worth more than face value. But coins that have never entered circulation, called uncirculated or mint state coins, are much more desirable. Coins are graded on a scale from MS60 up to MS70. A penny graded MS60 to MS63 might be worth $1 or $2. Higher grades, like MS65 or MS66, can fetch more. The real jump in value happens around MS67 or MS68, where examples become significantly rarer. Also, color matters. Collectors prefer coins that still have their original copper red tone. These are called red coins, while darker ones are considered red-brown or brown, with red coins typically bringing in the highest prices. Let's talk money. As of 2025, the typical 1998 no-mint mark penny in circulated condition is still worth just 1 cent. It's common and not collectible unless there's something unusual about it. However, wide AM variety in excellent condition could be worth anywhere from $25 to over $100, depending on the grade and demand. A mint state coin, especially one graded MS67 or higher with full red coloration, might be valued at $50 to $150 or more by dedicated collectors. Certified error coins, like a well-centered double die or a dramatic off-center strike, could also bring in $25 to several $100s, depending on the severity and visibility of the error. If you suspect you have something special, it's always a good idea to have your coin evaluated by a professional grading service, like PCGS or NGC. Certification can significantly increase both the credibility and value of your coin in the market. So, if you have a 1998 penny without a mint mark, here are 5 things to check. Is it in excellent, uncirculated condition? Look for full detail, no wear, and bright red surfaces. Check for a wide AM on the reverse. Look closely at the space between the letters A and M in the word America. If the gap is wider than normal, you might have a rare variety. Look for doubling or other errors. Examine both sides under a magnifying glass for any signs of doubled lettering, die cracks, or off-center designs. Determine the color. Red coins are more desirable than red-brown or brown ones. Consider professional grading. If your coin seems flawless and unusual, grading can help authenticate and increase its market value. So, is your 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth a fortune? Most likely, it's worth face value, unless it's in top condition, features a known variety like the wide AM, or has a dramatic mint error. Still, it's always worth checking. Because even among common coins, hidden treasures can exist, especially when you know what to look for. And for new collectors, coins like this are a great way to learn about varieties, grading, and the history of US currency. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more coin collecting content, and hit the bell so you don't miss our future uploads. Have a 1998 penny you'd like us to look at? Drop a comment below and share a picture. We might feature it in an upcoming video. Until next time, happy collecting, and keep checking your change. You never know what treasures are out there waiting to be found.